This video we will present the influences of leadership, teamwork and workplace environment on employee performance. Chapter 1, Introduction, Background of Study. Organizational success depends on employees' efforts. Performance improves business efficiency. 20% of Fortune 500 corporation graded employees in 2003, firing the lowest 10%. 2,000 companies stopped firing underachievers. Turnover affect the company, employees and customer. Weak leadership hinder worker productivity. Unprepared teams may suffer with moral, productivity and failure. Company goals required cooperation. Problem statement. Most workers think their workplace is unhealthy and dangerous according to Chandrasekhar. Many people nowadays have forgotten the importance of teamwork in their personal and professional life, even though all religions emphasize the importance of cooperation to achieve the best result and protect everyone right by allocating roles and responsibilities. A lack of collaboration in the workplace can lead low productivity, efficiency and creativity. Research mentioned in Nobel found that pessimistic workers are more likely to endure chronic stress. According to Opperman, a worker productivity is affected by procedures, system, structure, resources and equipment. This study examines how leadership, teamwork and working conditions in the Malaysia Ministry of Health HQ affect employee performance. This research will illustrate the ministry how its management style, team dynamic and culture affect worker engagement and productivity. Therefore, it is crucial to determine how leadership, teamwork and working conditions affect MOH HQ Malaysia employee performance to inform other public institutions.
Next, I will explain on research objective, research question, significance of the studies and limitations of the study. The first objective of the studies is to identify the level of the leadership, teamwork and workplace environment among employees in MOH headquarters. Number 2 is to compare the main difference between leadership, teamwork and workplace environment among MOH headquarters according to gender. And number 3 is to determine the correlation between leadership, teamwork and workplace environment with employee performance at the MOH headquarters in Malaysia. The question to be clarified when we conducted these studies are: Number 1, what is the level of the leadership, teamwork and workplace environment among employees in MOH headquarters? Number 2, is there any significant mean difference between leadership, teamwork and workplace environment among MOH headquarters according to gender, higher education and working experience? And number 3, what is the relationship between leadership, teamwork and workplace environment with employee performance at the MOH headquarters in Malaysia? Let's move to the significance of the study. We are conducting these studies to investigate on how to improve leadership, teamwork and the working environment of employees for the better performance in the MOH headquarters in Malaysia. Results of the study are expected to pave the way for MOH HQ to embrace the variables that impact leadership, teamwork and the workers' working environment and performance. There are always going to be flaws in every study. It is crucial that researchers adhere to establish interview technique and refrain from injecting their personal bias into the interview. This qualitative single case research also has a geographical restriction, as a sample will be drawn only from the Malaysian Ministry of Health.
Hi, next I will continue Chapter 2 for the literature review of employee performance, leadership, teamwork and work environment. For employee performance, like Penka and Jomarity said, an individual independence in the workplace is mostly determined by his or her own level of motivation and challenge. However, for leadership, Salanova and Sopeli said, leaders with high score in both tasks, behavior and support behavior are the most successful at inspiring their followers to become involved. Next, for teamwork, Khan said, in order for members to feel safe trying out new ideas and experiment. The group as a whole must be accepted and encouraged. Lastly, for literature review is work environment challenge set. Companies with a good reputation as workplace are more likely to be successful in the marketplace because they are able to recruit and keep talented workers. Next, I will say about the leadership, teamwork, work environment, and employee performance. First is a relationship between leadership and employee performance. At here, managers should have leadership skills and set a good example for their staff to follow. Second, the relationship between teamwork and employee performance. Some scholars have identified and discussed teamwork as an important professional ability required to realize the organization mission. And lastly, from me is the relationship between work environment and employee performance. At here, the physical setting of the workplace can have an impact on how well a worker performs their job.
The conceptual framework shows the relationship between leadership, teamwork, and work environments towards employee performance among the employees at the Ministry of Health headquarters in Malaysia. This figure is formed from the results of two sources that we have obtained, which is from Mughal, in which he highlighted leadership, teamwork, and employee engagement. While the other source that we obtained is from Hafiz, that he highlighted work environment as the strongest independent variable. With these independent variables, we have come up with a conceptual framework whereby we then establish that employee performance is the dependent variable of this study. Hence, the researchers will focus on this hypothesis, such as hypothesis 1. There is a significant influence of leadership on employee performance at the Ministry of Health headquarters in Malaysia. Hypothesis 2. There is a positive relationship between teamwork and the performance of employees at the Ministry of Health headquarters in Malaysia. Hypothesis 3. There is a significant influence of workplace environment on employee performance at the Ministry of Health headquarters in Malaysia.
Now I will do the explanation and presentation on chapter 3. First is the research design. In this paper, we're using a descriptive research methodology in this study. The purpose that using this method is to provide an accurate account of existing occurrence, and it was put out there to help to pinpoint and learn more about the nature of a certain problem or issue. In addition to painting a clear and comprehensive picture on what's going on, this layout make an effort to use the information gathered to shed the lights on how people's thoughts and action came by the way that they did. Second is on the population. Personnel managers, department heads, and directors responsible for human resources were used in this study as a study population. In total, on 320 people that being used in this sample size. So we go for the sampling frame. For the sampling frame, the Malaysian Ministry of Health served as the sampling frame from this study. Employee and human resources management official responsible to performance management were intended as a subject of this research. The site of the Ministry of Health headquarters in Malaysia was chosen because of the proximity to key market and the reality that staff face over here. Next, on the sampling size, people in the position of authority over employee performance were pulled for this research, along with the worker themselves, which is the staff members. It is via response of the respondent that the research is able to formulate the hypothesis and extrapolate the result. From the pool of 320 people, 50 of them were randomly chosen to participate in this survey because they were thought to best reflect the company and will provide the most relevant data for this research. After that, we go to the sampling technique. In this research, we use a random sampling method. One of the reasons that why we're using this method is because people resort to sampling. Using this sampling method is because to ensure the fair representation of each subgroup. So next we go to the next topic, which is data collection procedure. Data for this research came from variety sources, both primary and also secondary. When doing this research, it's important to distinguish between the primary and also the secondary data, which is either obtained first time by using like questionnaire, or using the secondary data which is have already been collected and someone else already using it and already in the circulation. To be more exact, for primary data is being collected by means of questionnaire and personal interviews. Primary data is kind of data gathered that a researcher does when they need information that isn't readily available. This is being done by a simple method like observation and also questionnaire. For the secondary data are those data that previously had been gathered from the secondary sources, example like books, journals, newspaper and also website. All the materials used in this research came from the previous existing sources, such as I said earlier, books, journal, website that deal with the same topic for this research. Next, we go to the instrument. In order to collect data that was both sufficient and accurate for this investigation and this research, two primary resources are being used: semi-structured and also structured interviews, and also questionnaire. Researchers gathered information using questionnaire for this research. After that, we go to the plan of data analysis. In this research, percentage were used to evaluate data from the completed surveys. After double-checking the accuracy of the data, we plotted it as a frequency distribution and a percentage of total replies. Both tabular and graphical representation of the data were provided. Statistically package of the social science SPSS version 26 was used to analyze the data.
My name is Moshaki Mersulen and I will explain about the findings of this study. The results are explained in two sessions. The first one is about the demographic background of the respondent. So for general, there are 75% of female respondents that answer the questionnaire, meanwhile only 56% of male respondents involved in this research study. Altogether, there are 131 people that answer the questionnaire. So for age, there are 65 of the respondents are within the range of 18 to 30 years old. This is followed by 32 respondents who fall within the range of 51 to 40 years old, and 25 respondents within the range of 41 to 50 years old. Another 9 respondents are above 51 years old and above. So for highest education, 56 of respondents are diploma holder, 55 respondents are bachelor holder, and 14 respondents are master graduate. Only 5 respondents are matriculation graduate, and a single respondent is a PhD holder. For working experience, a large portion of respondents, which is 49 people, have 1 to 5 years old of working experience, and is followed by 45% respondents who are the veteran more than 11 years working experience. This is followed by 30 respondents within 6 to 10 years old of working experience, and last but not least, there are 7 respondents who are the freshly employed with less than a year of working experience. So next, we will look at the table of the relationship between leadership, teamwork, and work experience with employee performance at the MOH headquarters in Malaysia. In this study, the significant value must equal to 0.000. So as we can see here, the correlation is significant because the p-value is lower than 0.05. For the leadership, the table shows that there is a high significant positive relationship between leadership and employee performance. The results indicate that the higher or better the leadership, the higher the employee performance. Meanwhile, for the teamwork, the table shows that there is a high significant positive relationship between teamwork and employee performance. The result indicates that the higher or better the teamwork, the higher the employee performance. And last but not least, the work experience, the table show that there is high significant positive relationship between work experience and employee performance. The result indicates that the higher or better the work experience, the higher the employee performance. So we are moving to the last slide. In this coefficient table, we can see the largest beta coefficient is working experience, which is 33.8% explained to the variance of employee performance. This concludes that working experience makes the strongest contribution to the explaining the performance. When the variance explained by all other variables in the model is controlled for. This is followed by teamwork, where 28.6% explained to the variance of performance. And next is the leadership, which explains 1.2% to the variance of performance. The result depicts that only all of them made a unique and statistically significant contribution to the prediction of employee performance.
Based on this paper, we can discuss the impact of leadership, teamwork, and workplace environment on employee performance at the headquarters of the Ministry of Health in Malaysia. Our research findings reveal a strong positive correlation between leadership and employee performance. The better the leadership, the higher the employee performance. The same is true for teamwork and the workplace environment. We found that with better teamwork, there is an increase in employee performance. With a better workplace environment, there is also an increased employee performance. Our data analysis also shows that there is no significant difference in employee performance between genders. Furthermore, our findings indicate that there is a positive correlation between employee performance and leadership, teamwork, and a work experience. A company's performance can be attributed to the quality of its leadership, and working as a team has a positive effect on employee skills, knowledge, and productivity. It is also important for companies to provide a safe and encouraging environment for employees to voice their ideas and concerns. Our research also highlights the importance of good leadership, teamwork, and a positive work environment in enhancing employee performance. Future research should focus on increasing the number of respondents and a deeper analysis of specific attributes. Companies and organizations should strive to create an environment that supports their employees, allowing them to grow and perform to the best of their abilities. Thank you.
What can we conclude from this result of the research study on the factor affecting employee performance in Malaysia is this study aimed to understand the key driver of the employee performance and how they can be improved to enhance the performance of employee in company or organization. The study found out that the leadership, teamwork, and workplace environment are the three major factors that affect employee performance. These findings are in line with previous research, which has considered these factors separately. However, these studies provide a new insight into how these factors interact with each other and how they can be improved. In Malaysia, bad employee performance is a big challenge for the companies and organizations. If not handled effectively, it can be damage a company's reputation and revenue. Therefore, companies and organizations in Malaysia should regularly review employee performance to ensure that their employees are performing at their best. The finding of this study suggests that the perception of leadership, teamwork, and workplace environment should be improved to enhance the employee performance. This is because a positive perception of this factor can directly impact an employee's performance. In conclusion, this study contributes to our understanding of the factor affecting employee performance and provide recommendation for future research. By improving the perception of the leadership, teamwork, and workplace environment, company or organization in Malaysia can enhance employee performance and improve their overall success. That's all. Thank you for us.